two studios. We're in the small one. They said, look, there's really special band in the next studio. You never see them, can't really see who it is. Top secret. Within minutes, the Rolling Stones are in.
Oh, come on.
The whole thing, and we've told you before, don't you forget about it, was this huge accident. It wasn't meant to happen. But we did it, and we thought, that's that out the way. Probably be a B-side.
When we were putting together Virgin Radio 80s Plus as a radio station, the number one song, as voted for by the Virgin Radio listeners for our brand new radio station, is Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. There you go.
Wow.
Number one.
The game since the 70s, and they're still alive and kicking. Their new album, Live in the City of Lights, is out this month, and they're about to go on tour. So don't you forget about the Simple Minds masterminds, Charlie Burchill and Jim Kerr.
Actual Simple Minds in the studio. Simple Minds, Simple Minds, Simple Minds. Hello, gentlemen.
Hi there.
I'm very well. How are you two? You look great, by the way, guys.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Belated happy birthday.
Heading towards 60. So Jules Holland texted me last night. He was the last person to wish me happy birthday. And I said, Jules, I'll see you in the 60s. How is it over there? Then he says it's like the best ever.
Decade. Wow.
It's all the best is still to come. I feel pretty great that it is.
Good on you. Well, we can't complain. It's been great to us as well. I mean, we're kind of getting up to the higher echelons of the 60s now.
The upper echelons,
yeah.
But, everybody's smashing it, aren't they? Graham Souness, who he's swimming the channel there and back now for Deborah.
As you do.
Amazing.
It's for this amazing charity. So he's already swum to France anyhow.
Yeah.
But he's touch and go now. So he's 72. Ted Danson's got a new podcast. Ted Danson from Cheers?
Yeah.
He's 77.
I blame Mick Jagger.
Yeah,
Everyone looks... Is that not true? Everyone
Mick Jagger,
looks
Paul
at
McCartney. I mean, take your pick.
Yes. Although Mick moves a wee bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
A wee bit more.
Yeah, but then he doesn't... That's all he does.
Well, that's all he does, yeah. Well, that's all lead singers do, isn't it?
Well, I mean... Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, takes one to know one, I suppose. But,
I suppose.
No, it's amazing. Tom Jones as well, 83, 84. Wow. Springsteen, 76. Rod Stewart's 80.
They're throwing down the gauntlet.
Unbelievable.
How is Rod 80? That one really doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. No. You're fair whippersnappers compared to these guys.
Well, it was kind
but you really are.
It was kind of always like, because we think, getting a bit long in the tooth here, and then we see these people whose records we bought when we were 13.
Yeah.
And younger.
So if you look after yourselves, pace yourselves, and you clearly doing a very good job of that. You played to 1 million people last year, wasn't it? Something like that, live.
And we get very well looked after.
But you've got another 15, 20 years to go, guys.
Oh. Steady on. Steady on.
But you have in those terms.
Well, it's you know what? It's open-ended, that's for sure. When we first started, open-ended. Although the man upstairs might have a say in that. But when we started, it was. I mean, you didn't know anyone. I think my mum and dad was even 40 when we started. So then you get 40, and then you get 50, and then people start throwing a gauntlet. Can you do it? Can you do it? My poor old dad passed away a few years ago, but he would always say, look at old Mick, he's still doing it. Mick Jagger's still doing it.
It is Mick Jagger's fault, you are right. It's the Rolling Stones' fault, isn't it?
It's their fault.
Townsend.
Yeah. I suppose, but the Stones are always on tour, aren't they, Charlie? That's the thing.
Well, that's true. That's right, Chris.
Just come a bit close to that mic if you don't mind, Charlie, a little bit. Thank you so much. Yeah, The Who, I've seen those guys a couple of times, still absolutely smashing it. Roger Rogers, 78, 79 now. He must be touching 80 as well. Wow. But here you are to talk about this new album and also a summer tour. It's great. The album is amazing. The Live in the City of Lights album, and this was recorded in Amsterdam as live, of course it was last year, Amsterdam's Ziggo Dome on April the 6th, 2024, in front of 17,000 people. It's all great. Why did you pick Amsterdam to record the album, first of all?
Well, the main reason, Chris, was, it's a great audience. That's, first and foremost. Shows are always brilliant there. But the venue is incredible. And it's purpose made for making great recording, even filming.
Actually?
It's amazing.
I didn't know that.
One of the few venues.
It's an amazing venue. So one of the best in Europe, So
I didn't know that. So of course you would do that, wouldn't you? If you had a stadium and you wanted to.
Makes it easier.
Yeah. So there are some stadiums designed to record live albums there.
That really is. I think it's a kind of prototype, because unfortunately so many of the venues, they're not purpose-built for music. They're multi-purpose, I guess. But as Charlie's saying, Amsterdam, they really planned it.
So it's super acoustics, and can you tell that when you're on stage? Does that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's it? How is it different?
Well, just everything, the way they've planned it, the way they organise getting the gear and everything. They've got their own video systems in place.
That's right.
You can
Just a
film
kind of
on it.
control, I suppose. There's a
Yeah.
control to it.
Wow.
Whereas other places, you may be at the mercy of a domed roof or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
Bad
Charlie, we are so lucky. Everywhere we go, we've got great audiences.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do, why not do it in a place where it's a wee bit easier?
Yeah, and like you say, I mean, the audiences in the Netherlands are off the chain. Don't forget about you. We got to talk about this song, right? So it's the 40th anniversary of Don't Forget About You, and it's on the album. Of course, it is. Did you know that when we were putting together Virgin Radio 80s Plus as a radio station, we put loads of songs from the 80s out to research, and the number one song as voted for?
You're joking.
No, I'm not joking. Give me. Look, chills, goosebumps,
Wow.
talking about it. The number one song, as voted for by the Virgin Radio listeners for our brand new radio station, is Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me. There you go.
Wow.
Number
That's
one.
unbelievable.
We didn't know that. How can we not know that?
It's cool, isn't it? The top 10, let's have a bit of fun with the top 10, shall
Yeah.
we? So number 10 was the B-52s. Any idea which song?
Planet Rock.
No, not Planet Rock.
Rock Lobster? No,
Not
won't be
Rock
that.
Lobster. It's the other one.
What is the other one
There's a
again?
little love place where
Oh,
we can
Love
get
Shack.
sick. Love
Love
Shack,
Shack,
yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm going to have to sing most of these, aren't I? Number 9, Queen. Could be anything, but what do you think?
Yeah, it could be.
What about a really sort of radio-friendly song?
Don't Stop Me Now?
No, not Don't Stop Me Now.
It's not Bohemian
No, it's
Rhapsody.
not Bo Rap, absolutely. Funny video. Vacuum
Oh,
cleaner.
I want
Not
to be.
Fat Bottom Girls.
No,
No, I want to be.
you've
I
got
wanna
it.
be free.
I want to break
I'll
free.
sing it,
I
I'll sing
want
it, I'll
to
sing
break
it.
free.
Yes. Okay.
Did you? Any of you ever dress up as a woman for one of your videos?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet, but there's still time.
But it's in
Never
time.
say never. This is show business. At number 8, Depeche Mode.
Oh,
Still can't get enough.
Just can't get enough yet. Number 7, Eurythmics.
Sweet Dreams.
Dreams.
Sweet Dreams, correct. This is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
We love a quiz, don't we?
yes. Yeah.
Number 6, Soft Cell.
Tainted
Tainted
Love.
Love.
We're playing with them. They're touring
Yeah.
with us in the States
States.
next month.
By the way, still amazing.
Great.
Mark
yeah,
Holman's
great.
voice, ridiculous. Number 5, Spandau.
Gold.
Yeah, gold, yeah. Number 4, Culture Club.
Karma.
Karma Chameleon.
Karma
yeah, of
Chameleon.
course.
Number 3, Guns N' Roses.
Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah. And number 2, Aha!
Oh, we like that.
Go on.
Take on me.
Take on me. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, what a top 10. And you are number
That's
one.
the first
By
time I've ever heard Charlie sing. That's the first time I've ever heard
Don't
Charlie
encourage
sing.
him.
Good
You never
reason
know
for
where
that.
this might end.
What a song to choose to sing.
Yeah, don't you forget about me. 40 years ago, gentlemen, 40 years ago. So, we're talking about the 40th anniversary of it live. We're talking about more live gigs this year. UK and Ireland tour begins Friday, 27th of June in Glasgow until Tuesday, the 8th of July in Derby. Tickets available now, if there are any left, that is, simpleminds.com/tour. It's all going very well. Tell us about you in the States then. I mean, do you remember breaking America for the first time? What happened there? When did you land? Which TV shows did you play? Take us back in time.
Loved it. I mean, we had the whole thing, and we've told you before, Don't You Forget About It was this huge accident. It wasn't meant to happen. But we did it and we thought, that's that out the way. Probably be a B-side. Or,
Honestly.
Yeah.
honestly,
What didn't you hear that the rest of us heard?
no.
You're the
It's just- I
musicians,
don't
for
think
heaven's sake.
artists ever do. I think that's why you need managers and good people
Right,
around
fair
you
enough.
that say, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's all right, but it's here.
Yeah.
So we went over there, of course, number one, and then before we know it, Geldof's on the phone, and he's, Live Aid, and so the whole combustion, MTV, and then we were on our way to, because we had this thing up our sleeve called Alive and Kicking.
Yeah.
And we thought, this is the thing. It didn't do too bad. But we ended up, this is a good, because we're just mentioning them. So we ended up, back then it was kind of, back then it was considered a bit dodgy to try and break America. Right. Oh yeah, you've gone all American, but we thought, hang on a minute, this is a place that kind of invented the thing.
Rock and roll.
Albeit we had the best bands.
Yeah.
So we went there, we're recording in the studio in the centre of Manhattan. You couldn't have, this America. And as we turned up, 2 studios, we're in the small one. They said, look, there's really special band in the next studio. You'll never see them, can't really see who it is. Top secret. within minutes, the Rolling Stones are in.
Oh, come on.
They couldn't have been friendlier. They couldn't have been nicer. So whenever I hear, and even, I don't know what age they would have been then. So 40 Jagger would have been.
That'd be Undercover the Night and all that, wouldn't it?
It was, yeah.
That's right.
And it couldn't have been more friendly and warm, and Charlie Watts and all that, giving you a cup of tea in a china cup.
Yeah, what's better than one drummer called Charlie? Two drummers called Charlie. How was that? How was Charlie and Charlie? How did you two get on?
I got on great with Charlie.
He's cool, wasn't he?
He was
What a
great
dude.
guy,
What an absolute dude.
Travelled with his own tea set.
I know, as always. Charlie, he's so funny. Well, he's not with us anymore, but I interviewed him a few times. He was such. What did he say? He said to me once. He said, "Well, the thing about the Rolling Stones," he says, I've never thought we're that good, really. It's like, and he meant it as well, And he had the smallest drum kit in the world, didn't he, Charlie?
He said to me in the dressing room, he said, 2 hours on the stage, who needs it? And then he'd a pause, and he said, but Keith always says, what else you got to do?
Funny you should say, because we played with him a few times, and as soon as and no one really gets to open for them, you're just in the way. But we did all right. And then the first thing we wanted to do was jump into the crowd and get near the front, because it's the Rolling Stones.
Of course it is.
And the thing that always, in that massive scene in the thing that always impressed us, everything is so tiny. It's a little tiny. I mean,
that drum kit was ridiculous.
They're a club band, really.
Yeah, totally.
And him on his little kit, and he comes on and he kind of, and then Keith comes out on his knees. But within a minute, you're just thinking, Zen masters.
Totally. Totally. I was lucky enough to go on tour with them. We made a film with them, and it was in Chicago. And I spent 3 days with them, and it was really interesting because I was working, but I wasn't working like you were working with them. They all had their own manager, which was different. Mick does this whole warm-up thing beforehand, not just a vocal warm-up, but a physical warm-up. So he gets shredded and he gets cut, and it's all very important, and he gets limbered up because he's such a physical performer. And then they have the Voodoo Lounge backstage because they want to take their penthouse with them wherever they go. You would have experienced this, I would imagine. Yeah. That was very much a Ronnie and Keith thing, and there's a pool table and there's all this kind of stuff, and then they warm up their guitars together, so they get their guitars talking to each other backstage. And then I was very fortunate to stand behind Charlie when he was playing Chicago, right behind that crazy drum kit.
Wow.
And other drummers say, I don't know what you think, Charlie, but they say that he hit the tom-tom as hard as anybody's ever hit one.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Do you get some drummers that you sense play harder than others?
The thing with Charlie Watts was always that, whenever he hit the snare, he never hit the hi-hat at the same time.
Yeah,
it was a peculiar
bang.
Was that a jazz thing?
I think it was, Jim. Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
Because he considers himself a jazz drummer the whole time. Yeah. The other thing was, and I want to ask you about your version of this, after the show, because we were filming it, we had several cameras going for 3 days. They had one limo each, white limo each, and they closed not all the roads, the road from the arena back to the hotel, and they were closed like for a state visit, something like that, because the Rolling Stones were in town. Yeah. And they didn't have Hells Angels either side, but they had a motorcycle group either side that weren't the police, but with the police's permission, that were their outriders. And there was 4 cars, 4 limos, one for each member of the band, and then there were these big sort of DMC day vans for the rest of the gang, and we had those going on, and this was a normal night in the life of the Rolling Stones, and they got their gowns on, their bathrobes on, and it was so cool, right? What is your version of that? The Simple Minds version of that? There must be one.
There is. I suppose you're right. Every band has their own. Some people just want to get out of there. Some people want to hang.
Yeah, and they'd left the stadium by the time the applause had finished.
I mean,
they were gone.
I would, whenever I can do anything remotely like that, I would do it. I'll tell you why. Not that it's not great to see people afterwards. You've got a gig the next night.
Of course you have.
So it's almost a bit like, athletes and football players. You maybe get 5 minutes to relief and celebrate, and that was great. But it's like, we've got to do it again tomorrow night. So for me, I always like to try, and it was different back in the day. You wanted to
tell us a bit about back in the day. So because you could crack on then, because you're younger, and you know, it's part of the sort of deal, isn't it? Really.
Well, it wasn't back in. I mean, listen, now there's so much more at stake for us. Back in the day, you were allowed to have good gig, a so-so gig, a whatever gig, better gig. Now there's so much at stake because it's, you know, people come to see, you know, when I say they invest so much, I'm not just talking about the money, which is a fortune to go to a live gig now. Yeah. But people have, you know, invested emotionally, been waiting to see you for months, years or whatever. And you cannot have a so-so night. So when you think like that, you do everything to prepare. Yeah. Whereas back in the day, it was more about the lifestyle.
Yeah, of course it was. And people wanted to be at the party, didn't they? Because it was party time.
Yeah.
And you were hosting the party, because you can host the party and not have the party, which can make for a better party. But if you're in the zone, and also known as in your 20s, then you can sort of purple patch it right up with everybody else.
Did you ever, talking about, you know, the sort of post, because he was famous for it, did you ever see any of those Prince sort of after show gigs?
Camden Palace.
He was. So you were at that?
I was at his birthday. It wasn't his birthday party. It was Cat, his drummer's birthday. Do you remember? They played Wembley Arena.
Yeah.
And then he played the Camden Palace that night. We got there. The gig started at 12.
Yeah.
And it went on to, I think I left at 3 o'clock because I sort of had to.
Well, I sort of read on it the other day because I thought, you know, so what was his thing in doing that? Apart from, you know, he was a night owl and the gig wasn't just enough he wanted to play. But there was something else. The cash. He was paid cash, all of those gigs.
No way.
Yes, cash.
I thought it was just, I love my music so much. Here's some more of my music. Come and join me at the pub.
A wee bit extra on top. A wee bit extra on top. Unaccountable.
Go on, Prince.
It must have been Scottish.
Know who had the case.
Yeah, by royal appointment.
Gig.
Who's his?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you. We can have another Prince conversation about the cash and about him cashing up. You know, he had a shop in Camden.
I didn't.
Yeah,
no. Pop-up shop.
No, it wasn't a pop-up. He had because I used to have a market stall in Camden Market, and he took over the shop on the corner by the petrol station opposite Camden Market. And somebody said,
"This is getting Taylor Street. You and Prince."
No, but I was a producer.
What was in your shop?
I was selling second-hand stuff to make up the rent. This was like 89, something like that. And I was, by the way, I was loving every second.
You're like the geezer next door.
Totally, I was rocking and rolling. It was 15 quid for a stall for the day. You get what you could in the week and you'd sell it.
Amazing.
And I was a producer at the time, so we were getting free videos when videos were still thing, albums, you know, not for resale. Oh, God, I'll sell it. Sorry, I've got to make the rent. That kind of stuff. Somebody said, "You see that shot that's been painted purple and pink over the road?"
He was already on it.
And I said, "Yeah." They said, "That's because Prince is taking it over." I went, "Yeah, right."
What album would he have been on then?
I can't remember. Well, I thought, what was the guy on that was telling me? Because I thought, of course it wasn't Prince. Anyway, it was. Prince took it over, and every Sunday night he came in to cash up, and he took the cash home with him, and that is actual Prince.
So he had one in LA as well.
Did he?
Yeah, he had a shop in LA in Melrose or something.
He's a market trader.
He was nothing if not a businessman. So it's not about him, it's about you. So let's go back to America just briefly. So Manhattan, was that the first time you'd been to America anyway, or?
No, but it was the first time we'd worked there and worked with Jimmy Iovine and Bob Clearmountain. So it was a conscious attempt. You know, let's go and really work.
And your movies were very cinematically friendly as well, weren't they, soundtrack-wise?
Yeah, I suppose the sound of the band, a lot of people wanted to use the music. Sound is quite a big sound. And
it's quite it had a bit of Americana about it. Well, it does have a bit of Americana about it.
That album did,
well, on a clear day from Glasgow.
It's so true, isn't it?
See those lofty towers.
And how does it feel? How do you feel now, you know, getting up and doing those songs? How does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, it's, you know, that album that, you know, around about the time of Don't You Forget About Me, that's when we decided to really, really focus on writing songs. Up until then, we thought we'd kind of just jammed songs together. But that was the first time we worked with a guy who was really known for being a songwriting producer, Jimmy Iovine. And he kind of kicked our butts and made sure that
What did he do?
Well, it was funny when you say back in the day, you know, because I went to see him we wanted to work with Jimmy. He'd worked with Tom Petty, he'd worked with Springsteen, Bond, you know, and we thought Jimmy's the guy. Well, I'll tell you the story. He was ignoring our call, but this is quite a nice story. He was ignoring our call. He didn't want these Irish guys, or no, we're not Irish, you know. You know, I've worked with you two anyway.
Not English, from Great Britain. They must be Irish.
Yeah. I've worked with you two anyway. What do you know? So he wasn't answering the call, but we thought Jimmy's the guy. And lo and behold, this Don't You Forget About Me turns up. Suddenly he's a wee bit more interested. But he tells a great story, and I loved this. So he'd been sent down with the record company Sony down to Australia. Remember that band Men at Work?
Oh, lovely, yeah, Men at Work.
Great. Colin, he's fantastic. Yeah. So they hadn't been playing ball with the record company, and the record company said, get down to Australia, Jimmy. Go and see what these people are doing, sort them out. No one sorts Australians out, right?
Yeah.
So Jimmy said, I don't care. They gave me money to go down. I knock on the door. Jimmy Iovine here. They say, go away. He said, great. I go back to the hotel, pick up my bag. And he said, this Simple Minds thing had been calling, but he gets in the taxi, young Australian guy, driving up to the airport. What do? Oh, I'm a record producer. Who do you Springsteen. Oh, great. The young kid goes, very good. This is my favourite band. And he sticks in one of our songs.
No!
Waterfront.
Come on.
This is my band. And Jimmy said, driving through Sydney, Australia, this sound, how did you do that? What an amazing... So thanks to that taxi driver, we got to hook up with Jimmy, and as Charlie explained,
great story,
it was a great thing, yeah.
Do you think that if that hadn't have happened, something else would have happened because it was always meant to happen?
Oh, that's a difficult one, that, Chris, to be honest. I mean, you know, you can't...
I think it might be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think you load the bases here, there and everywhere.
Can we go back to us? Because I think we've probably told you the last time we were in or something. Charlie and I grew up in the same street.
Yes.
Met each other when we were 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad didn't want to move there. And he only went up, we'll just go up and have it just to... My mum would, no, we want to go there. And my dad, he was gone. And I had to go through with it just to pretend. Keep your mum happy.
Yeah.
But we went up and we saw these tower blocks. Tower blocks now get a bad rap. They were fantastic. We thought it was New York.
Yeah, of course.
And as soon as we were moving out, the day we moved in, Mum and Dad are moving in with other pieces of furniture. Mum, get out and play. They were still building the housing project, scheme, whatever. So at the bottom of the road, Crossbank Road, there was a sand castle and a cement castle and a bricks, because, you know, the builders were still building it. And Charlie was sitting at the top of the castle. So if Sissy and Dad had said, we're not going, that's it.
It's funny, isn't it? Because are there sliding doors moments, or is every moment a sliding doors moment, or are there no sliding doors moments?
Can I say something? Whenever people say sliding doors moments, it's even more particular to me, because I met, and they're still my dear friends, both my ex-wives in elevators. Now, if that's not sliding door moments, don't ask me the next question. But if that's not sliding...
I have no further questions, Your Honour. The defence rests.
But if that lift hadn't stopped,
It's so funny.
I say that to people, they say, didn't you go to the hotel?
So funny. Well, if Anton Deck hadn't taken up golf, I wouldn't have 4 kids now. With Tash, because I met my wife at an Anton Deck golf tournament.
There you go.
And they'd only just taken up golf. Thank God they did. Otherwise, Noah wouldn't exist. There'd be no birthday barbecue last night. It's crazy, isn't it? Isn't life wonderful? Isn't life wonderful? How lucky are we?
Well,
luckiest people in the world, aren't we?
Totally.
Luckiest people in the world.
Totally.
We get to go to gigs and we get to do shows, but we're on the other side of the rope, on the other side of the stores, on the other side of the circle, on the other side of the mic, and we get paid for it. We are the luckiest people on the planet.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Love it. Anything else you'd like to say to your wonderful audience who are listening? And this will be watched on YouTube around the world.
They are absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, they are.
And thanks to them all, still supporting us and still encouraging us. Because you need that. You still need to be encouraged. I mean, I say that. Can you imagine? And you'll get it when you do your live things and all that as well. Imagine every office when you see people going into the office or going in the workplace. We turn up, and before you've even taken your jacket off, people are saying, you're great. And we get that every night.
Good for you, mate. Well, Simple Minds, they embark upon the first year of their brand new 10-year tour. So that's how far you're going, guys. You've got at least another 10 years to go. And we're not having any less, all right?
Okay.
Okay, you got this. Simpleminds.com/tour. Tickets available now. UK and Ireland. And then over in the States. How many gigs in the States? Whereabouts? Ish?
All
26.
over.
When? By the way.
We start at Easter in Latin America and Mexico and Brazil and Chile and Argentina, and then up all through America. And then we get back into the UK just the start of July, and looking forward to that, Dublin as well.
All right, well, you're the best. And the number one Virgin Radio 80s Plus track from 100 Greatest Songs of the 80s, as voted for by you, is Simple Minds, and Don't You Forget About Me.
Wow.
Thank you, Charlie.
Hello.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jim.
Chris.
Let's hear it for Simple Minds, please, if you don't mind. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, Charlie!
Yes, Charlie, come on.